343. Of the 2,977 victims killed in the September 11, 2001 attacks, this included 343 firefighters of the New York City Fire Department. 6. The Worcester Cold Storage and Warehouse Company fire began on December 3, 1999, in an abandoned building at 266 Franklin Street, Worcester, Massachusetts. Firefighters were unfamiliar with the layout of the building and most of the floors inside, each up to 15,000 square feet, were divided into a labyrinth of connecting meat lockers. The walls and many ceilings were covered with insulated layers of cork, tar, expanded polyurethane foam, and spray-applicated polyurethane foam. There were no firewalls or fire doors and only a single staircase extended from the basement to the roof. The owner of the neighboring business informed a police officer at the scene that a homeless couple had been squatting in the building, and firefighters initiated a search, believing they could still be trapped inside. Conditions inside the building deteriorated rapidly. Worcester Fire Department District Chief Michael McNeamy said, "There was a light smoke condition in the upper levels of the building to the point we didn't have to have our face pieces on. Within 4 seconds, it went from the conditions to the building being filled completely with black, hot, boiling smoke. The layout of the building and the absence of windows left firefighters without a second escape route and prevented ladder and rescue operations. 6 firefighters were still unaccounted for in the building when the interior floors collapsed to the second-story level. They were the city's first firefighting deaths in 36 years. 9. The Charleston Sofa Superstore fire occurred on the evening of June 18, 2007 in Charleston, South Carolina, and killed 9 firefighters. The building had no fire sprinkler system. The fire started at approximately 7 p.m. in a covered loading dock area built between the showroom and warehouse buildings, which was attached to both buildings. At the time, the business was open and employees were present. The initial attack focused on extinguish the fire in the loading dock area, with a secondary effort to search for the evacuated people inside and prevent the fire from spreading to the showroom and warehouse. Crews entering the showroom reportedly initially encountered clear visibility with only very little puffs of smoke visible near the ceiling at the back of the showroom. Shortly thereafter, an exterior door was opened near where the fire was raging. Efforts to close the door failed, allowing the fire to enter the showroom. Despite efforts to confine and extinguish the fire, it continued to spread into the structure and ignited furniture in the showroom, growing more quickly than the few operating hose lines could control. Meanwhile, efforts to stretch and begin operating additional hose lines continued. At 7:41 p.m., the showroom area of the store experienced a flashover while at least 16 firefighters were working inside. The flashover contributed to the rapid deterioration of the structural integrity of the building, leading to a near complete collapse of the roof minutes later. Many of the firefighters caught in the flashover were unable to escape and were trapped under the collapsed roof and shelving weakened by the fast-spreading fire. Several calls for help were made by trapped firefighters and efforts to rescue them were commenced. These efforts proved unsuccessful. By the time the fire was brought under control, 9 Charleston firefighters had been killed. According to the Charleston County coroner, the firefighters died of a combination of smoke inhalation and burns, but not from injuries sustained from the collapse itself. 36. On December 2, 2016, at approximately 11:20 p.m., a fire broke out in a warehouse known as Ghost Ship that had been converted into an artistic collection including dwelling units in the Fruitvale neighborhood of Oakland, California. At the time of the fire, the warehouse was hosting a concert featuring artists from the house music record label, 100% Silk. Neither residential nor entertainment uses were allowed under the warehouse's permits at the time of the fire. A total of 36 people were killed in the fire, the deadliest in the history of Oakland. It was also the deadliest building fire in the United States since the Station nightclub fire in 2003, the deadliest in California since the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, and the deadliest mass casualty event in Oakland since the 1989 Loma Prieta earthquake. The warehouse is described as having serious electrical problems. On June 5, 2017, 2 ghost ship proprietors were arrested and charged with felony involuntary manslaughter in connection with the fire. 100. The Station nightclub fire occurred on Thursday, February 20, 2003 in West Warwick, Rhode Island, killing 100 people and injuring 230. The fire was caused by pyrotechnics set off by the tour manager of the evening's headlining band, Jack Russell's Great White, which ignited plastic foam used as sound insulation in the walls and ceiling surrounding the stage. A fast-moving fire with intense black smoke engulfed the club in 5.5 minutes. Video footage of the fire shows its ignition, rapid growth, and billowing smoke that quickly made escape impossible, and the exit blockage that further hindered evacuation. The toxic smoke, heat, and resulting human crush toward the main exit killed 100. 230 were injured, and another 132 escaped uninjured. Many of the survivors developed post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the psychological trauma. It was the 4th deadliest nightclub fire in U.S. history. 492. The Coconut Grove Fire was a nightclub fire in the United States. The Coconut Grove was a premier nightclub during the post-Prohibition 1930s and 1940s in Boston, Massachusetts. On November 28, 1942, it was the scene of the deadliest nightclub fire in history, killing 492 people, which was 32 more than the building's authorized capacity, and injuring hundreds more. The scale of the tragedy shocked the nation and briefly replaced the events of World War II in newspaper headlines. It led to a reform of safety standards and codes across the United States and to major changes in the treatment and rehabilitation of burn victims internationally. It was the 2nd deadliest single building fire in American history. 165. The Beverly Hills Supper Club fire in Southgate, Kentucky is the 3rd deadliest nightclub fire in U.S. history. It occurred on the night of May 28, 1977, during the Memorial Day holiday weekend. A total of 165 people died and more than 200 were injured as a result of the blaze.